Hi guys, I'm Nina, and today I'm going to be reviewing God Bless America, which is directed by Bobcat Goldthwait, who has done things like World's Greatest Dad, Hercules, and Police Academy 2 through 4. It also stars, Joel Murray, Tara Lynn Barr, and there are a couple other people like Larry Miller in this. There are some really great cameos, and one I think that is not credited on IMDb, but is one that I was for sure was Morgan from Kids React. Now this movie is about Frank, who is diagnosed with a brain tumor and then decides to kill people for living the wrong way. And as you can imagine, I did not like it. I have the same problem with this film that I did with Super, that Frank and Roxy's relationship, like Frank and Libya's relationship, was a little weird, and I did not like it. This movie starts out with a baby crying, and I hate movies that start off with babies crying. It is terrible, and I hate it a lot. And this movie is all about what people will do for fame, and what constitutes fame, and where talent versus being heard is. And I really kind of dislike this movie because everyone in it is super dislikable. Frank is super judgmental, Roxy is super judgmental, everyone else is kind of a twit, and it makes fun of the fact that everybody's life is online now. And I agree that sometimes we need to disengage and like become real people, but I did not like Frank's attitude about this whole thing. It wasn't clear, it just seemed like he was killing people for no reason. And there is the persona image versus what a person actually is, and what constitutes a crime. Like, he starts killing people at a movie theater for talking and having their cell phone out, which I admit is annoying and kind of makes me want to kill people sometimes. But again, in the grand scheme of things, those people could have been really good people, just not very terribly mannered at the movie theater, and that's something that is kind of a gray area. Frank decides to live out his fantasies after he finds out that he has this brain tumor, and it's all about him living out this fantasy of just killing people for no reason. There were a lot of documentary posters, like there was one about Food Inc. and God Camp, and I don't remember what the other one is, but it was another one I saw. And it was super interesting to see where all of the media culture came in, because there were really nerdy things that were really into this movie and woven into both of the storylines. One of the things I found quite interesting is that Roxy and Frank rebel against the mainstream and yet become kind of hypocrites and become the mainstream when they decide to kill all these people. Another thing I hate when movies do is the "when I was your age." Fucker, I know what you did when you were my age. I know what I did at my age. Like, I really hate that phrase, because it promotes a moral of simplicity, and it promotes something that isn't there and isn't true anymore. You know, when I was your age, we got up and did our chores on the farm. Yeah, that's great, but people live in cities now, so that's not really a thing I can do. Hate the people who misuse the word literally. This is a quote from the movie that I find really disturbing. These are people they want to kill when she lists this off. And I take a really big offense to this, because misusing the word literally is a form of irony, and so I don't necessarily hate people who do it. And I used to be really against it, but I had this discussion with someone who thought she was bigger than me and stronger than me and could basically force her opinions on me, and I wasn't taking it. And that's a lot about what this movie is about. It's people who are bigger and stronger and have guns deciding to force their views on other people, and how that's kind of wrong. I actually really kind of enjoyed this movie for the fact that it didn't make anyone out to be the good guy. Everyone is kind of the bad guy in this film. And so I kind of liked it that way. There were some really funny moments, but overall it just didn't stand up well. It just doesn't do, it doesn't make me go and want to watch it again. It's not funny. It's not really my type of movie. I think that it's very interesting to see. I think that people should see it, but I don't think that people are all bad, and I think this movie kind of promotes the complexity of people, which is a message I really like, but it does so in a way that isn't relatable. And I think that's my biggest part of it, is that these characters did things that we all want to do and all think about, but they did it in such a way that was not relatable. Also, the really happy music over the gun violence. Also, and I said I was going to wrap this up, but I'm not. So the happy music over the gun violence was one I had a problem with, and the fact that the dialogue seemed really forced when there were a lot of curse words in it. I don't mind movies that curse a lot, but the dialogue seemed very forced when there was a massive amount of curse words in it. The time I really liked the dialogue the most was when they were talking in just kind of normal talk, and I think that was very interesting. Overall, I think it did an okay job, but I think I would probably give it a 6 out of 10 because it was a really neat idea, but it wasn't executed very well. So that's my thoughts on this movie. Tell me if you liked it in the comments below. If you have watched this movie, would you ever want to kill what is the one type of people you would want to try and kill? Leave that down in the comments below, and I will see you tomorrow with my review of Top Gun. Bye guys.